Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas History Roundup for March 2nd, the big day in Texas. In 1793, Sam Houston, future hero of San Jacinto, Texas's first and third president, first U.S. senator and governor, was born in Rockbridge County, Virginia. In 1836, the convention at Washington on the Brazos approved the Declaration of Independence and sent copies to Bexar, San Antonio, Goliad, Nacogdoches, Brazoria, and San Felipe, with instructions for the printer in San Felipe to make 1,000 handbill copies. The original was deposited with the U.S. Department of State. It was returned to Texas in 1896 and first unveiled in the Texas Capitol on March 2, 1930. Why was this sent to the U.S. Department of State? That is the question. This same day, General Jose de Urrea defeated James Grant's 26-man force in the Battle of Agua Dulce Creek. Grant and several volunteers were killed. Those captured, along with those from Francis Johnson's defeat 4 days earlier, were taken as prisoners to Matamoros. Grant met a tragic end when he was tied to the back of a horse and kicked to death. Placido Benavides, who managed to escape, reported the defeat to Colonel James W. Fannin. So ended the ill-fated Matamoros expedition. In 1850, Joseph A. Bergman, a minister, arrived in Galveston from what is now the Czech Republic. He continued to Cat Spring, where he served as a preacher and taught school. Because his letters to Moravia encouraged Czechs and Moravians to come to Texas, he's often called the father of Czechs in Texas. Bergman died in Corsicana in 1877. In 1867, the first Reconstruction Act combined Texas and Louisiana into one of the 5 military districts under Major General Philip H. Sheridan. In 1910, the U.S. Army Air Corps had its beginning at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, when Lieutenant Benjamin D. Falloy made a public demonstration flight. This plane, designated U.S. Army Aeroplane No. 1, is now in the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. In 1930, the original copy of the Texas Declaration of Independence was unveiled for the first time in the state capitol 95 years to the day after it was signed, and stolen and taken to Washington, D.C. for some reason. You got to look up that reason for why it went there and did not stay in Texas. Probably was taken during Reconstruction or something. In 1942, the USS Aulick, the first combat ship constructed in Texas, was launched at Orange on the 106th anniversary of Texas independence. The Aulick received 5 battle stars for action in the Pacific Theater during World War II. She was decommissioned in 1946. And in 2023, the last issue of the Canadian Record weekly newspaper was published. It was first published in 1893, and for most of its existence was edited by Ben R. and Nancy M. Ezell, and later their daughter Laurie Ezell Brown. It was an excellent no-nonsense paper. Canadian, a town with about 2,600 people on the Canadian River at the northeast corner of the Panhandle, is closer to cities in Oklahoma and even Kansas than to most Texas cities. The Record was one of the longest-running newspapers in the West. And finally, I will say, on this day, March 2nd, in 2020, my daughter Poppy was born. So I just wanted to say you are a gift to your mom and I. We're very lucky and proud to have you. And thank you so much for being such a cool and awesome daughter. We love you very much. I love you very much. So happy birthday, old Poppy Grace. All right. With that, I will close this very special day in Texas history. The birth of Texas and the birth of Poppy. 2 amazing things in my life. So thank you. I want to thank you, dear listener, for listening. I really appreciate it. And come back and we'll see you here tomorrow for the next one. All right. You take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.